Item 1, call to order, roll call. Dave Sturgeon, he's absent, he's sick. Tammy Crosswhite. Here. Keith Chipwood.
Here.
Colby Collinsworth.
Present.
David Apple.
Here.
And Rhonda Williams. Item number 2 is prayer and pledges of allegiance. You could all
Please. Lord, we thank you for this day and for all the blessings that you pour upon our beautiful town and all the citizens that are here. Thank you for your support, your love, for your protection, and your mercy. Father, I pray that you would continue to watch over our leaders, help them to make good decisions. And Father, thank you for each and every one that is serving our community, our country. And Lord, thank you for all that you do to bring us closer to you. May it be to the name of Jesus. Amen. You'll face the flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Thank you.
Item number 3 is public comment.
Let's see. Do you have a state what they are wanting to speak about? The others are on the agenda, and one is a development agreement. Hand these to you, please. Yes, ma'am. The zoning is on the agenda already.
Okay. So, let's see, we have Camille Shannon's reports, that's all regarding the zoning that's on the agenda. Jeremy White,
That was for item number 11.
okay, it's on the agenda as well. Okay, Wendy Mattingly. Yes, ma'am.
If you'll come to the mic, state your name and address, please. Sure. Is it?
It's not, I got it.
And you have three.
Okay, Wendy Mattingly, 415 West FM 545.
You talk closer to the mic a little bit. I can pull that down.
Spare for at least another thing.
Is that better?
Yeah, right. Okay, I just had some questions with regard to the development agreement that you're going to enter into with the developer of the 141 acres out on 2756. I know it hasn't been entered into, and I just found out about everything about 2 weeks ago. I'm wondering why the section 4.22 boycott of Israel per government code 2271 has been requested to be removed. And I'd like to know what right does the city and city council have to remove that section from the development agreement when prior agreements that have been filed with the city all contain that clause. And one notation that's not that, since y'all have that great notification system that where you notify us of trash and the minutes and everything, I was wondering if there's any way in the future annexation zoning changes, even though they don't affect everybody, they only affect a certain amount, could be put on those so that all of the public can be aware of what's going on in and around the city. Thank you.
Thanks. Do you have, and I know we've discussed the Israel information with our attorney after it was brought up the last time. Do you have what she came back with on that?
Yes, she stated because this is publicly funded and they are not putting, privately funded, not publicly funded, that can actually be removed because they meet the criteria per the state statute. So that was one for the attorney.
then we'll try our very best as far as the future, as far as the annexes and things like that, but you can always find that is also on the website whenever we post our minute, our board.
At
our
this
minutes
point,
and things.
if it's on the agenda, it will now be on our subscription. So if you're not subscribed to the city, please do so. You can do it on our website and subscribe, and you will get those texts. So that will alert you what the agenda is, and those annexation and zonings will be on the agendas.
Amy, did you have something to add?
We've not agreed, we've not had a development agreement with them
Correct.
on that property yet.
It has not been brought back to
Yeah,
council
it's
yet.
not been brought back.
The next person on here is Jack Weston. Oh, yeah, if you come to the microphone, state your name and read it.
And address, please.
Address, please, I'm sorry.
I'm Jack Weston and I live at 15155 State Highway 160, Blue Ridge. And we've actually had a concrete batch plant show up on the property to the south of us. And they're actually going to build two of them, and was trying to figure out how it actually got approved, without no notification to property owners in the area, or because the second batch plant they're going to build out there is huge, and it's only going to be about 100 feet from my house. And I just figured if I could actually get any type of information about when they're going to build the second one. And I guess they go through the ETJ. Whatever's in the ETJ, I guess y'all are responsible to do all the information that they need and to get the approvals, and I was just trying to figure out how that ever got approved, where I'll be walking out my back door to their plant. And I don't know, I just thought it needs to be 100 yards or, whatever it is from my house that's existing. They did come up to my house and say, well, we didn't know you were here. And I'm like, the house was built like a year and a half, 2 years before they came in. And I'm like, it's not my fault. You can't just look down the driveway and see a house. And then I was just trying to figure out, there was another piece of property that's been approved for, I guess it's just been rezoned for industrial or whatever it is, so that they can put 3-phase power in there. And I don't even have a clue what they're actually building. And the property is like 2 acres. And I still don't know what they're putting in there. And I don't know if it's going to be a lot of noise. Like right now we've got noise from backup alarms. They could have, 15 to 20 concrete trucks out there rolling around at the same time and backing up, and their backup alarms are pretty loud. And I was just seeing if I could get some information, I guess. Now that I know that everything goes through y'all to get approved to be placed wherever somebody submits. But,
Again, if you want to sign up for the, text, that way when things go out for as far as the city council, you'll be able to get those notifications. I believe it was my understanding that that concrete was just a temporary, wasn't it just,
Actually, if I could answer that,
Yeah.
that's outside of our ETJ. We had no permissions whatsoever for it. So we could sign off on it. Everything's within on that. I was notified, but it's also TCQ. City council did not have a say.
Okay.
Second question that you asked, the property was approved through the ETJ because of our plating. But I do know they're going to put 3 buildings out there. They don't know what they're going to inhabit them with yet, but it is going to be like light industrial. But I'm certainly glad if you'll get subscribed to our website.
Yeah,
We're certainly
I'm
glad
on
to
it.
keep you informed of anything as we find out. Glad to put it out there.
Okay. Appreciate it. All this stuff is coming in fast and it's coming all around me and I'm just trying to figure out how to actually combat it as it comes in. Because we don't even want this concrete plant next to, our house. But the bigger one, the one they're gonna put in is gonna be a huge one. And it's less than 100 feet from my shop and from my house.
And it's time, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Richard, can you adjust the heater, please, so we can hear? Thank you.
Marcia Fisher. Marcia Fisher.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything. I'm just here.
Okay, you're just here. Okay, thank you for being here. Okay. Okay, Tom Williams.
Yeah, same here. I'm starting up signing in.
Sorry.
And then Tracy Long. Same thing. Okay. Again, we thank you all for being here. We encourage everyone to come to any of our meetings to answer any questions, or we'll try. If we don't have the answer for you tonight, then you can contact City Hall and we will have the answer for you. So we appreciate you all being here. So, item number 5. Consent agenda, all matters listed under the consent. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Public comment, community. Item 4, items of community interest. Pursuant to section 551.0415 of the Texas Government Code, mayor and city council may report on items of community interest, including expressions of thanks, congratulations, or condolence, information regarding holiday schedules, recognition of individuals, reminders about upcoming city events, information about community events, and announcements involving an intimate threat to public health and safety. No action will be taken on any item of the community interest. Edie, I believe you have some information.
Actually, I do not.
Oh, you know, I thought you were going to mention something about the Collin County.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
I
the fire
do.
stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
I see
reminder.
that.
Actually, I have 2 things.
Yeah.
One, they turned on the bar stream today. So happy to say that. Secondly, the mayor and I went to a meeting with some of the other mayors in the area for the emergency services district. And they're talking about how that's going to affect. There is 2 emergency service district petitions that will be floating about. One is for a countywide emergency service district. This is going to affect those that live outside of the cities in the rural parts of the county. So that way you can still have emergency services. Right now, 2 cities have pulled their contracts with Collin County, which means those people that live in Melissa and around Farmersville will not have services for the emergency services as of October 1, 2025. So there is an effort trying to have an emergency service district that will help fund it, because now all those free services will no longer be free. Those county residents will have to pay that fee. It's a tax in order to have those services. So it is a continuing problem, and it is a continuing conversation trying to resolve said problem.
And I believe McKinney's going to pull out too.
Yeah.
Not the second. Yeah,
That'll be the third.
third one. So, yes, it was very informative meeting.
A lot of that is because the citizens of each town have been paying for fire departments, but yet the county residents that are receiving the services haven't been paying. And cities can't keep funding outside the cities. It has to get funded. So everybody needs to pay their fair share. So that's what the effort is trying to do.
So what did you say was turned on today?
Our bar stream. It's at the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
Any other?
That's
Did you get notification of those meetings? Is that something you can pass on to us the next? Is there going to be additional meetings on the emergency district?
There, I'm sure there will be,
Okay.
but right now that was just a very closed effort because they're trying to figure out who wants to participate. There's going to be a lot more conversation, and I did ask the county judge to put out a website for the public's information so that there's questions to be asked. and try to eliminate some of the misnomers and put some good quality information out there.
It did say that on the petition, you have to own land. You can't just rent the land. You have to own the land. You have to be a registered voter.
That is
And
correct.
then when the petitions are signed and things are taken back to the county will verify all that information.
Within the county, not in the city, but
It's in the county.
Yeah, in the county.
Now, there's one thing that was brought at that meeting we did need to come up with, and the city council will be discussing whether to add the ETJ, the extraterritorial jurisdiction, into a ESD. 100% would be my recommendation, because you don't want to leave anybody out of emergency services.
Is that just fire, ambulance, what?
All of it.
It's all
All
of
of
it.
it. All
Yeah.
emergency services.
If you live in a country, you're gonna die. Sounds like.
Well, we're
Right
trying
now,
our best.
Brookridge has not pulled their contract, nor are they intending to.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, the two cities 100% have pulled is Farmersville and Melissa, and McKinney's on the heels. So they're all getting ready to pull any areas that are around in the county of those cities. Do
I
I?
mean, I understand why they're doing it, but it just don't seem like if somebody
Well,
was.
Part of
ill.
the problem is the county, according to the legislature, says they may provide those services, not shall. And that one word changes everything.
So item number 5 now. Okay, item 5, consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda for discussion and possible actions are considered to be routine by the city council and require little or no deliberation. There will not be a separate discussion of these items, and the consent agenda items will be enacted by one vote. If a council member expresses a desire to discuss a matter listed on the consent agenda, the item will be considered separately. A, discuss, approve, or disapprove the minutes from special session held December 3rd, 2024, and regular session held December 3rd, 2024. B, public works update. C, city financial report. D, fire department report. E, animal control report. F, code enforcement report. G, new permit report. And H, write-offs for utility billing. And I note, unless we received it, we have no fire department report or animal control report, correct?
The fire department is on your station. We do not have an animal control.
Okay, thank you. So, any items? Okay, and then we don't have the minutes from last meeting in January because of the complexity of it.
Right.
So they've been ours, okay. So, any whole motion?
I make a motion to approve item number 5.
A second.
All in favor? Okay, item number 6, receive code enforcement presentation regarding violations and differentiation between owner and renter violations. I believe that's Joan.
It was requested at the last meeting, a difference between owner violations versus renter violations. So I went through all of my code reports for 2024. And you got a copy of it. You can look at it. Total number of violations for owners, people who own their lots, was 390, or 76.17% of all violations written in 2024 were from owned properties. So people who lease had 122 violations, or 23.82% of total violations for 2024. Of those owned lots, 14 are vacant lots. No homes, no buildings, no nothing. Just plain lots with 67 violations out of 390. 9 of those were commercial lots with 28 violations out of 390. We had 2 church lots with 7 violations. And one park, the Blue Ridge Youth Association Park, with 3 violations. So the majority of our code violations come from owned property, not rented property. So, and it's, I mean, and I could go back probably all the way to 2020 and it's about the same.
And then we've also started our court, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so can you share with us how we did on that? I mean, with the violations.
I do know that I'm trying to think, we had 8 cases and all
Go
all of
before the
them
court
in December. I'm trying to think.
The January court was canceled because that's when we had our ice storm.
Yeah.
But, we will be having court next Thursday. And some of the cases are going to be carried over onto next Thursday's.
So of those 8 cases, 7 of those were for owners of properties and 1 was for a renter.
Will we be getting notices of that? Will that come under, that one come
No,
under
ma'am.
that agenda? Okay,
No, because the court, this is executive,
okay.
that is judicial, and neither one.
Thank you. Okay, item number 7. Consider, discuss, and act upon resolution 2025-0204-001, calling for a general election for May 3rd, 2025 to elect 3 city council seats and all provisions to hold said election. So they'll be holding the election at the school, right? Or will it be?
Yes, it will be at the school.
So I need a motion.
Do we have any applicants?
No one has signed up, including the 3 incumbents, so I do not have any applicants at all.
It's gonna be a short meeting next Monday, isn't it? For the weekend.
Well, this is for the signups only, that's to get to the ballot. So, but deadline is next Friday, the 14th. So anybody that's interested that live inside the city, if you lived here for 6 months, you're more than welcome to come by City Hall, pick up an application, or that information is also on our website. But it is due by 5 o'clock on the 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve number 7.
Second?
I'll second that.
Sorry, man. I'll get you next time. All in favor? Item number 8. Consider and act upon a contract with Collin County Elections Administrator to contract, conduct, administer, and provide all necessary provisions for the May 3rd, 2025 general election. This just falls into the same thing as item number 7.
I'll make a motion to approve number 8.
Okay.
Sure.
David seconds, all in favor? Okay, item number 9. Consider, discuss, and act upon a request for establishing a zoning classification of R2 multifamily district for an approximate 0.92198 acre tract of land situated within the incorporated limits of the city of Blue Ridge and also in Collin County, Texas, and described as follows. Tract 1, 0.310999 acres, known as Morris Edition, Lot 1, and also known by Collin County property ID 2786176, Tract 2, 0.41400 acres, known as Morris Edition, Lot 2, and also known by Collin County property ID 2786177, and Tract 3, 0.19699 acres, known as Morris Edition, Lot 3, replat, and also known as Collin County property 2859631. These lots adjoin South Morrow and South Main Streets and are south of Benjamin Lane.
So council, if you remember from our public meeting that we had last night meeting, there was a question mark. So this is a continuation, not a public hearing, but this is a continuation of questions that was asked of the developer that is here this evening. And you asked to have a pictorial, some type of understanding of what it was that they were going to be building, so that you would have visual to be able to have a better understanding. So I would invite, Ms. Mondragon, if she would be so kind to come up and give information, answering your questions from the last meeting.
Thank you.
Good evening. Oh yeah, I'm just here to answer any further questions or doubts regarding the duplexes that we're proposing to build.
I know in the last meeting we had, I know there was question about the maximum number of vehicles, the family size that would be there renting, and you've answered those questions. I don't know if everyone has a copy of this, but I'll be happy to read off what it says on here. Single-story duplexes, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, individual driveways, 2-car garage, and the lease agreements would be maximum of 2 vehicles, maximum family of 4, maximum of 2 pets allowed, minimum of 12-month lease. And Toro Properties will manage the lawn maintenance. So, again, I don't know if you have a copy of it, but it looks somewhat like the same duplexes that are on Harmon Circle right now.
We don't have.
I got 2 copies if you want to pass them around.
Which direction will these be facing? Are they
2 will be off facing Main and then 2 Mora.
we're looking at a total of 4,
Yes, ma'am.
4 duplexes?
Fenced in backyards?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for providing that.
Yes. Very nice.
Any questions?
How many did you say you wanted to put there?
4.
4, that's like this, total.
So 2 more of those, yes, ma'am.
That means 8 units? That means
Yes,
8
ma'am.
units. That means 2 minutes. Would be, we like the way this looks, but 4 is about all that street can handle. 4 units, yeah, 4 houses, yeah, because that street is in no condition to take on that much traffic. You can't meet a car on that
Oh,
street.
would you ladies like to come to the microphone so everybody can hear you, please? And state your name and address. And I'm assuming, Mayor, it's okay for this to open the floor?
Okay, thank you.
My name is Camille Shin. I live at 320 South Morrow Street. And these duplexes, they look nice. Hopefully they will look like that when they're built, but there's not room for as many as she wants. That's just overcrowding that little street that we live on already. So,
On Morrow and Main, correct?
well, there'll be 2 facing Morrow and 2 facing Main. That means that doesn't leave a lot of yard, front or back, for anyone. And they'll be right in my front door, almost. And I'm not happy about it. I can't stop them from building something, but they can be limited to how many they can put there. Because that's just, that street will not handle all that traffic. It doesn't handle it now. Anybody that's been up and down it knows that it's in bad shape. And you said in the last meeting, there was no previous in the future repairs going to be made tomorrow or any street.
No, I didn't say any street.
You said there was going to be no street repairs.
On South Morrow. I didn't say any street.
But anyway, there's not going to be any repairs made on that street.
Not rebuilding that street, no.
So it's just a goat path now. You put in more people, more cars, and it's just too much. we're definitely against it. And any of you that get an opportunity to vote, if it was your place, how would you vote? I'm being fair. I'm not saying they can't do it, but limit. Thank you.
Gwen?
Yes, my name's Jaquita Morris. I live at 320 South Main Street. I just want to reiterate what Camille said about the street, about Morrow Street. Our house is actually it faces Main Street where I live, and this property they're wanting to rezone is right next door to me. And Morrow Street, which is at the back of our property, it's where we go out from the back a lot of the time. And that street is just terrible. I mean, like Camille said, it's more like a goat path. It's just, there's been too much damage to it over the years, and it just is in terrible shape. And another thing is, I worry about the infrastructure. I understand the sewer has been upgraded some as far as the processing of it, but the lines are in terrible shape. They're, especially on that street, you can't hardly find the sewer line when you're looking for it. And the water lines, the whole infrastructure needs to be improved before you start putting a lot of this building going on in this town, because it just won't handle it. I also worry about, with all the building that's going on, is our water level going to hold out with the infrastructure we have? Because I understand there have been some major concerns in this area with all the additions going in and with the water, but this interior of Blue Ridge, it really needs to be upgraded. And I don't know what it'll take to do that, but it definitely needs it. And with that many different cars going up and down that Morrow Street, you can't pass a car on it without getting over in the ditch to pass it. And so I don't know what the answer is to that, but it sure is not going to work with that many more vehicles there. Has there been any other discussion about redoing Morrow Street? Or is that just not in the works?
As I just said to Camille, because she looked at me straight, last time when we spoke, there's not a plan for South Morrow to be upgraded or improved as of yet. There's no funding for that, because we're trying to catch up people that are still living on the dirt roads and the rock roads. So we're trying to give them,
Yeah.
unfortunately, y'all got
And that,
bad asphalt. It is. I don't deny it.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
rough down there.
It's
bad.
awful.
It is.
We
But
had our
there's
whole
other
end of,
streets that
front
have
end of
less than y'all.
our
and
whole
that's-
front end of our car had to be redone because of that street. That's what we were
It's bad.
told.
It is. I don't deny it.
It's
It is.
bad. But, okay, will we be notified if y'all make a decision on this? If and when? If you do it
Well, hopefully they're doing that tonight while you're here.
or here? Okay. Okay, well, I just want to say I really don't want duplexes built there. I would welcome if they would put like 4 nice little houses instead of the duplexes. It'd be 4 houses they could put on that. It would, even at that, it'd be a small lot. But, and I do have another question. In Blue Ridge, I'm not real familiar with all of the what's expected of when somebody builds something. Does it have to be a certified builder build it, or can they bring just anybody in there and throw up a house? Is it gonna be inspected?
Absolutely.
Because I know there's been some things built here in Blue Ridge, pretty recent, that would not pass inspection in another town. They're not well built at all. So
Bureau Veritas is the inspection company for the city, so they're the
I'm
third
sorry,
party.
I'm hard of hearing. I can't hear you.
Bureau Veritas is the inspection company that's been on the city's books 12, 15 years. It's been there quite a long time. So they are the inspectors for the city.
Okay, well, they're not doing their job because I've seen some of these duplexes and apartments been built and they are fire traps. They really are. And I've worked in the construction industry ever since I got out of high school. So, but anyway, you think y'all are going to discuss it and maybe reach a decision on this rezoning tonight? Hopefully, fine. Or,
That's what's on the agenda.
okay. Well, thank you for your time. I don't know how to get this back. This is snap in.
Anyone else? Okay, state your name.
I'm sorry, I wasn't going to speak, but I just couldn't help myself. Tom Williams, I live at 1210 The Trails Drive in Blue Ridge. I just had a question about a comprehensive development plan. Does Blue Ridge have one going forward? And if so, that would seem to solve a lot of these things that are coming up, these issues that are coming up. Is there going to be one? Have y'all thought about one?
May I answer that?
That's all.
We have an outdated one. The plan is to do that this year and try to update it because we are seeing a lot of growth. And you're right, that would solve a lot of these issues.
Right.
Especially when the public may or may not understand the subdivision regulations, the development regulations that we already have in place, which are available also on the website.
Right. Okay. That's all I wanted to say.
Any others? Any council? Consider discussion here? Discuss.
So on these homes, we've got 4 or 2 duplexes on each side, 4 homes. 2 bedrooms in each one, so we're talking 8 bedrooms. And we have availability to park 4 cars at each place for 4 people. So if you take one of those and you build a regular house there instead of a 4-bedroom house, and you get people that are driving 4 cars, you got a 2-bedroom or 2 garage, 2-car garage. It's gonna be the same. So the water's not gonna change, and we're only talking 8 people per building. That's not that many people.
Hopefully.
I mean, that's the rules, so that's what we expect them to follow. So we have, as an example, we have the duplexes on Harmon, is that the name of the street? Those look really nice. And I'm hoping that these will look the same way. And it looks like they've done a lot of homework, a lot of planning. They've come up with a brick home, that's a nice home. Probably the biggest problem for you guys, that's going to increase the value of your home. So when you do get ready to sell, you're going to make more money off of your home. So I'm a go for this because I like the way they planned it.
But 8 of them, we don't want that many.
I mean, you've got 4 buildings, you've got 8 people per building. So that's not, if you had 2 4-bedroom houses, you'd have a lot more people and a lot more cars on that road than what this would have.
Well, in one bit and on one street, we're gonna have, it says on that drawing that there'll be limited to 2 vehicles. That in itself is 8 vehicles
Right.
on that one street. And when you've got a go path that you can't even pass a car on that street without getting over the ditch.
A lot of the streets are like that here in Blue Ridge. There was a lot of years that went by that nothing was done to the streets. We're playing catch up. We've done a lot over the last 5 years. I mean, you can't see it when you're in a street like yours, because we're trying to take care of the dirt roads and the gravel roads. Once those are all done, we'll come back to your street. your street will get redone eventually. We just don't know how long. We're very limited. We don't have very much money. There's not a lot of people that pay taxes in Blue Ridge. So we're very limited. We have to go and get grants to help us to get things done. And when the contractor doesn't do what they're supposed to do, which what happened on the square, it limits our ability to get grants. We're penalized because of it. So right now, we have a plan to get, sewer for the whole town, but we can't get the grants because of the contractor that did this job over here. So we have a lot of things that we have to deal with, but we do have a plan to take care of all the streets. It's just, we just don't know how long it's gonna be before we get to it.
But if you lived on my street, and if you lived where I live, and this was your choice, would you want that moving in on top of you? More people?
I mean, they're nice homes, so
I just said.
I live right here on Main
I
Street.
know where you live.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody around.
I don't have anybody around me,
No,
but
you don't.
the possibility is there. And if the people, I mean, if somebody comes in and they buy something and they want to build something, I mean, this, I would be okay with it. I've got 3 lots around me that they could put these on. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
That's the reason I live where I live, because when I moved back here 50 years ago, that was a dead end street. There was nothing behind me. And now it's all blowed up.
So we're talking 50 years ago.
I know.
Look, we're in the very corner of Collin County, and we're the last frontier. So
Yeah,
the city council as a
away
group,
from us.
the city council as a group, we're trying to make sure everything gets done properly and nicely. We have to deal with muds that come out like the ones out on 545. We don't have any control of what they do over there. They're going to affect our city, but we're not going to draw
We
tax.
get no taxes from that.
No taxes, nothing. So, but we have to deal with all the people coming into town, driving on the roads, whatever they bring. So.
Well, Edie, I'll ask you this. If we had it, which Lord knows we don't, how would we maintain, like, where does that money come from if we were to have money set aside to maintain our roads?
It comes from property taxes.
Property
These
taxes.
folks that live
Person
inside
out
the
here
city.
just paid some.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I said, I just paid mine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
So,
But that's exactly where, that is from the general tax fund. And
right,
that is its own separate fund, that there's only certain things that you can use that money
right,
for.
absolutely.
And streets are one of them. Now, when you don't have money for that, and another item that we have actually coming up on number 11, that's something that you may be interested in. That is where we go out for grants. We look for any funding sources that we can find. I'm gonna speak a little bit out of turn, but it's, I'm okay in the Open Meetings Act, but, this particular round of funding, I'm asking for $18 million. Folks, I'm not asking for chump change. $18 million is what I'm asking for to build streets, water, sewer, and get our infrastructure back in order. $18 million. Y'all don't want to pay
Who are you
that.
asking to?
Texas Water Development Board. But y'all don't want to pay that as property owners.
Yes.
Neither one of you two ladies that are sitting here with this issue do not have those kind of funds to pay that high tax, to pay what needs to be done. And therefore, I'm going out for these type of grant funds with help from engineers, with help from all these type of folks, so that we can get our infrastructure. But if I don't get if I'm not allotted the winning number, because there are cities all over the state that are going after that same amount of money. So I have to hire a very good engineer who's sitting right back there, and I'm gonna put him to work because he's got to put the talent, and I've got another engineer sitting right back here that I have put to work. Because if these folks don't say the words just right and ping the board members to say, hey, these folks are really in need, I'm not gonna get the money, and then we're right back to square one. Because we don't have $18 million. I don't have it.
I know,
Y'all don't have it.
I know, I understand you don't have the money now, but my understanding of this is, why can't Blue Ridge take some lessons from Frisco? I have a good friend on that city council. Frisco, they got grants. They got their builders that build those additions, put in all the streets and all the infrastructure.
And we're doing that very
Yeah, this
thing.
way.
You're getting Pruitt Street 100% concreted from the end of Pruitt all the way to 545. And a developer is doing that. But they're putting in all 214 homes. They're also putting in this Blue Ridge North that's going to go across from Bransco's. There's going to be close to 300 homes over there. We're getting 5 streets,
Okay, which
Hey.
street did you say?
Pruitt Street, which is down by the ball field.
Down towards the sewers.
But they're putting $2.5 million into our city by redoing that whole road.
But what kind of streets are they gonna
Concrete.
really upgrade the
Concrete.
infrastructure as far as, is there gonna be drainage?
Absolutely.
Are they gonna be curved streets? Are they gonna be slabs?
That's going to be a slab, but it is going to be a concrete street.
But it won't have
Over
curbs
here-
to help control. So we'll still have bar ditches
Yes.
catching all that water off those concrete streets, which is probably gonna cause
Chip
flooding.
seal.
But
if they
that,
don't do
just
it right.
because the bar ditch doesn't mean it can't be shaped and redone, which it will be done. Because they're gonna have to redo all of that ditch work. But the point is, your two point of your question, we are trying to get the developers to pay to upgrade as much as we can get them to do according to what our development agreements are, that this city council approves.
So until you get some kind of confirmation on these, I don't know whether the grants or what you're applying for, till you get, why can't you do a moratorium on any building permits and take lessons from some of these other towns that have grown so much because they improved their infrastructure first and then brought in the builders to add to it.
Part of our problem, because we have been so small and stuck out here with no funds for so long, nobody's looked at us. No developer has come to us. We haven't had the money to get ahead of the growth. That's part of the problem. We're trying to play catch up after the fact. But these folks are trying to say, all right, let's have some growth. We need some growth. But if we don't have some growth, we're going to die. We're going to be Westminster. Then the county's going to take you over, and then what? And
Well,
that's the big question, because y'all were that close not too long ago.
Yeah.
And so these folks have tried and struggled and fought. Everybody trying to save this town and get us where we can actually grow, do a comprehensive plan, get things in motion, have some builders to come look at us to say, you know what? I want to improve this town. I want to build here. I understand you don't want it in your neighborhood, but guess what? We got to do something, and it's going to take property taxes to the point of Mr. Collinsworth. If we don't have property taxes, we don't have the money to be able to do what you want done, because you want your street done. So do I.
Ms.
I
Monroe.
would love to have every street in this town concrete, every one of them. I can't do it alone. These folks cannot do it alone. It takes a lot of money. That's why we're going out for grants for a lot of money. I'm not doing peanuts here. We've got to get some huge cash dollars in here, because that's what it's going to take. Inflation has hit. It hit the city the same as it did your pocketbook. Groceries went up, so did pipe. So did everything else that we use in this town to keep you supported. That wastewater plant, the bar screen I spoke of, that's $250,000. We paid nothing. The developer put that in. The developer has been doing so much that y'all will never see, because it's all about sewer, trying to improve it. It just takes time. And that's the one thing we've got more of than we got
Well,
money.
that's what I'm saying. Why can't there be a moratorium?
If
where
you
it would have
stop
a time
everything,
limit?
then we're dead in the water.
Until you find out if you're gonna get the grants approved or not.
But we're dead in the water if you put a moratorium, you shut us down. You just will say we're Westminster and everybody go home.
What
we're
is
done.
our water situation now? Do we have the kind of water we need to let Blue Ridge grow like that?
We do. We do.
And we've also worked with Collin County in years past as far as trying to get roads redone too. But then again, you have to get on their cycle as well too. And then they only do so many streets and it's one of these, you pay, we pay, things of that nature too, correct?
Correct.
Because we did that the last time.
Correct.
Any other discussions? So, after item, consider discuss and act upon request.
What item is that?
Item number 9.
Oh, and by the way, grants sometimes take 4 to 5 years.
I'm sorry, okay.
Grants
The
take 4 to 5 years before you see anything on the ground. That square, I worked on that for 4 years before we got construction done.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. And they're very specific. I couldn't take the money that we got that's on the square. I can't put in streets. It's very specific.
I have a question since we're talking about the squares. Where did Tracy's memorial go?
I don't know. I do not know.
Well,
I have looked for that and looked for that. I can't find it.
put that?
Pardon?
Why didn't they put it back?
I don't know because I don't know where it went. I've looked and looked for it. I can't find it. So I don't know if it got in with the construction debris. I don't know. But I haven't seen it. I even told that to Granny Pam. I still haven't found it. And I was very careful through the move to make sure what I had. I haven't found it yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, is there room to put, and I'm looking, is there room to put 2 facing Morrow and 2 facing out? What is that leaving you on either side? How much room is that leaving you?
It's lots of.
Yeah, the lot sizes.
Yeah, the front along the road, how many feet?
Because we'd have to look at the survey and, look out
Okay. I like this. It looks good. I'm just concerned with the size of that lot, because it looks like maybe there's, and I'm looking at this, so to me, it looks like there's more, you've got more frontage on Morrow than you do on Main, and I may be wrong on that.
Yeah, there's more on Morrow, sure. And I've got that somewhere.
Can y'all come up to the mic and answer questions? Exactly.
I would have to pull up the survey so I can answer your questions on my phone because I don't have like a copy with me. But we know,
And right now, council, this is about the rezone, but since they haven't submitted anything about the house yet, that might not be answered until she does her submittal, but they do have to meet our setbacks.
Okay.
So they will.
And that's fine. You're good. You're
okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I understand what you're saying.
So
Any other discussion?
So that lot, that whole piece of land is elongated. It is deep from one street to the other, more so than it is wide. And it's 0.92 acres, less than an acre. So you divide that by 4, you've got less than a quarter of an acre per each building.
So if we're just looking at the rezoning to multifamily, then we would have to come back later for the actual plans to make sure it all meets the specifications.
Actually, no, because that part is through, it meets our ordinances and we go through a planning process through Bureau Veritas.
Okay,
So once you do the zoning, that completes your portion of it, then it goes to Bureau Veritas.
So we could do the zoning and there could only be two put here.
Correct, because they still have to meet all the setbacks,
yeah,
all of the
okay.
rules of the subdivision regulations that are standardized.
So rather than four, there would just be two, depending on.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Zoning wise.
What do you got, David?
the lots along Morrow, one would be 85 feet wide, the other one would be 103. And on Main, it's 80, 85 and 85.
But again, it would all go with the setbacks and stuff with the engineer from the drawing.
There's 170 foot of frontage on Main, 168, and then on Morrow is 189 feet. There's plenty of frontage, plenty of what they're wanting to do, and then, you know, the idea, this about streets and all, unless, it's like, I know when I was on the city council 40 years ago, we were wanting to get streets done. Morrow was one of the first streets we paved because it had the most homes on it. And you can't just go out and pave a street with 2 or 3 homes on it. Princeton went through a lot of that process back in the day. And, they got a lot of concrete streets. But they followed the process and, really, you gotta have homes to tax base to support and then get grants. You can't just get grants for building a street with maybe 2 homes on it. You gotta have, the more homes you have, the better off you'd be getting grants and a lot of tax base and support it itself. And that's what it boils down to. And having a multifamily thing is just a request they want to do.
Yeah, so that's basically what we're looking for, is just a multi.
And then we're looking at rezoning this for multifamily.
And then we would move forward after goes before Bureau Veritas to decide exactly what size and what would be available there.
And it's what the property just sit like it has been for the last 40 years, not today, but there's not much on it. I mean, there's no, it's, we got enough empty lots in this town, and we're going around it. We need to get our own infrastructure going again.
Okay. Any other conversations or something we make a entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve item number 9.
I'll second.
All in favor? None opposed. Okay. All right, item number 10. Receive update on Blue Ridge Crossing, including calendar regarding Blue Ridge Crossing PID bond.
So I've included in your council packet, and for those that didn't see it, this is what Blue Ridge Crossing looks like right now. That's right behind the ball field. 214 homes.
I can see a bunch of it here every day,
Yes, ma'am.
all day,
Me
all
too.
night.
Me too. But, this is what it looks like right now. We wanted to give you an aerial shot because this is what it looked like when it started.
That was great. I love it.
And here we come, as our growth comes, there's the tax base. This is what's going to start making our town change. If you will, council, look past those drawings, you will see a schedule in front of you. I know some of this we've not encountered before because we've never done a PID before. But this is the schedule so that we can continue. The next opportunity for a lot of the PID documents will be coming to the council March the 4th. So I just wanted to give you a preview so that you could start looking at some of the scheduled items that are going to be coming to you. We will have those professionals here to explain the documents and what it is that you'll be signing, but I just wanted to give you an understanding of what is coming. So I have, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Item number 11, consider, discuss, and act upon resolution 2025-0204-002, awarding the engineering professional services agreement to the Texas Water Development Board program funding.
So if you will recall, a few months ago, we did a RFQ for engineering to apply to the Texas Water Development Board, and the council did choose WSB, which is our standing engineering firm. We did have another contender, which is SPI, and we have a gentleman here with us tonight, Jeremy. The question is, who can pull this off? WSB, love you guys. Y'all are wonderful. Absolutely love you guys. They're wonderful in everything. They've stepped up and done more than what has been asked of them. And they've done a whole lot for me without charge. So they have just been fantastic. SPI, I would like to see you guys step into the ring, because nothing says I can't have more than one engineer. I want as many as I can get, because they have got an extensive list of accomplishments with Texas Water Development Board. That's the $18 million I spoke of momentarily when I was talking to the public. I think it's very behooving of us that we take this opportunity, because unfortunately, through the first round, we failed. We did not meet high enough on the ranking. I did speak to Jeremy and one of his coworkers that feels, because they have a lot more inner grouping with Texas Water Development Board. And Jeremy, please step me in if I overstep. But what I was told today, I got more information than I've had in a while about Texas Water Development Board. If we don't make it, if we fail, it is not a fail. It is we need them to be in their system. The more and the longer we're in their system, the more our name just keeps popping up, keeps popping up, keeps popping up. The more we don't get it, that just sets us up for acceptance of money later. I want us in that system. I don't want us to miss. It might not be now. It might be 5 years from now. But the more we stay in there and keep re-upping it, the more opportunity we have. So I don't know when we'll get that money, if we'll get that money, but I'm not going to pass it up an opportunity, excuse me, for us not to have that opportunity. It is important for these folks that live here that we give them the best we can give. Unfortunately, we just don't have the brain to do so. But if there's a place to find it, that's what I want. So I do ask and recommend that we award SPI. I can't say the name. You'll have to forgive me. Schlumberger.
Schaumburg and Polk.
There you go. SPI. So I do ask and recommend that we appoint them to this one project of Texas Water Development Board, and that our friends at WSB would share and work in coalition with them. I know y'all are kind of competitors, but hey, you're working for me. So ultimately, y'all work together, make it happen so we can get this funding, because it all comes down to who we serve, and we serve these folks.
Any other discussion, questions on that, or comment for recommendation?
No questions.
So we need to act on this,
Yes,
awarding SPI.
yeah, because the due date is in March, and we are tick-tocking on time.
So I need a motion made.
Make a motion to approve SPI.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 12, receive information regarding vandalism on the downtown square on January 17, 2025.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Amen.
I don't know what else to do. We have hoodlums that run around and tear up what we worked so hard to get for y'all. Hoodlums. They go around, they went to the cattlemen's and they tore up the pots, and they tear up the stairway, and they tore up the little pantry.
I read that they arrested somebody in front of the cattleman.
They did. They did.
But I never
And-
knew for what.
Criminal trespass,
It never did say it. It
I don't know, 'cause they don't pass that on to me either. But guys, come on, y'all. Why do we have to tear up? It's a flower pot, but why you gotta tear it up? Not y'all. Y'all folks are good. Y'all are not gonna do that. But it's like, why? This is why we can't have nice things. Because somebody's always trying to tear up. We just fixed that asphalt over there by, Branscome's. I'm talking about a year or so ago. What happened? We had just got that asphalt down and some hoodlum decided to sit on their truck and rev it up and tore all that asphalt up and made a big old mess out of it. Now that's why you got a dip right there at Branscome's. Why? Why? We're trying to do the good things and spend the money right and do it well. And it just gets tore up.
We so desperately need a police department here.
Amen. And
So
$3
does
million
the-
is what that will cost you.
And that would get rid of a whole lot of the drugs in this town too.
$3 million is what it'll cost you. It's
Don't you have a
ridiculous.
rich friend?
And Mary had was mad for raising her hand.
Okay, yes, sorry, Wendy.
Do we have, cameras around?
There are, that's how the dude got caught.
Oh, okay, so he did get caught.
And he got stuff and cuffed and got to spend 3 nights in the
Overnight.
pot.
He said stuff.
I thought we had cameras.
Was he
We
from,
did.
was he from here or just passing?
No,
He was passing through.
he wasn't even passing through. He was a homeless
Oh,
dude.
that one that's
decided
been
to
laying
squat.
around down at the dollar store. Is that the same? Or a different?
Well, I don't know, we've had two.
Another one at the dollar.
And why
store.
would you want to have a homeless person be in Blue Ridge? There's nothing here.
There's here.
There's nothing here. Mayor and council, like, we just wanted to let you know about what has happened. The gentleman that decided that he wanted to tear up our square because we can't have nice things, he did go to jail for it, so we just need y'all to wait.
Thank you. Okay, item number 13, discussion of placing items on future agendas. Colby, do you have anything?
No, man.
Keith? David?
No.
Amy? Item number 14, adjournment.
Motion to go.
Okay, citizens, all in favor? It'll be at 8:18.
Thank y'all again for coming. We do appreciate it. And we do appreciate your comments and support. It's greatly appreciated.